Hello, CBJ fans. Blue Jackets insider Jeff Svoboda here with another edition of Where Are They Now, presented by Huntington, where we catch up with some of the most memorable names and faces from the first 20 years of Blue Jackets hockey, and certainly have one of those today in Jason Chimera, who spent 5 years with the Blue Jackets. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's good to talk to you.
Well, obviously, I want to talk about kind of your memories of your time here in Columbus. And you played over 1,000 NHL games in over 17 seasons, played in 5 different cities. But 5 of those years were with Columbus. And I just wanted to ask kind of to start here, what maybe stood out about those times in Columbus, maybe made Columbus unique compared to some of the places you spent your time?
Well, it was a smaller market for sure when I got there, and I didn't realize how much how big Ohio State was when I first got there. It was kind of crazy because we did our shopping on Saturdays when the games were on, so we did all those like with grocery shopping. So, but when I got there, we had lots of good players. Gerard Gallant was a coach, and Adam Foote was here, Rick Nash, David Viborny, a bunch of guys. Freddie Modine was here, so a whole bunch of guys that are really good players and really good leaders. Manny Malhotra is a good buddy of mine still. Trevor Letowski, Nancy Carter was still a bunch of guys that you could learn a lot from. Fedorov here, it was pretty cool to be a part of that. And Gerard was a great coach, and fortunately, sometimes we weren't the best of teams back then, but we sure competed. It was a great place to play, great place to get around, easy place to get around. I live now. I lived in apartments just beside the baseball stadium when there was no baseball stadium. So that's where our first apartments were there. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you came to Columbus in kind of a weird situation. Started the 2005-2006 season right at the start of the season in a trade from Phoenix. Just what was it like? I mean, you may or may not have known much about Columbus when you got here. Just what was that transition like as you came into Columbus and kind of had to learn about the players you would play with and also the city as well?
Yeah, I can't remember what was the first year Columbus was in the league. It was
2001.
Yeah, so they were kind of still relatively new in a lot of people's minds in the NHL standard. And I was in Phoenix, and like you said, it was the day of the first regular season in Phoenix. I was going home for my pregame skate and got traded, and Chris McFarland called me. I said, "You're joking?" I said, "There's no way." And so, but Chris Noll, he says, "Really?" So I kind of whisked off to Columbus that night from Phoenix, and was with my girlfriend Sarah at the time, now my wife, but so I had to take out as much money in the bank account as I had at the time. And it was like I could only take out $500, so we had no American credit or nothing, so we had to take out as much as I could and give it to her. But yeah, it was I didn't know much about Columbus coming in. We played against them a couple times, but never really playing in the West. We really never seen the Eastern teams too much. When back then it was kind of one of those things you never saw them. So it was you never went to the city, never spent much time there. But as soon as I got to spend time there, and a lot of guys lived out by Tart Fields there. Adam Foote had a house out there, so we went out there lots. He had seemed like he had people over every weekend, just in families and stuff like that, getting people together. And but it was a great place to play, great place to. It was really my start of my career, and I played in Edmonton, fourth line, basically only, and then with Gerard, I got played with Manny and Trevor Letowski for a bit, played Dan Fritsch and those guys. I got to play a lot and play in different situations, and really kind of jump started my career in Columbus. And you talk about a great town. I still got a lot of friends and that I keep in touch with till this day, and they keep texting me, and a lot of good people, great, really friendly town. A lot of people willing to help you out, and you couldn't ask for a better place. My son was born there, and it was just a great place to watch your son grow up. And I mean, really, a lot of good people there, that's for sure.
Well, you would kind of hit on something I wanted to talk about there is it did seem like your career kind of blossomed here as a place where you really became a pretty regular NHL player. Obviously, you had played some in Edmonton as well, but 5 years here and so many good memories, I'm sure. What was it just kind of like to kind of see yourself become an NHL regular in a place like this?
Well, that's what you want. I think as anybody, you want to get played, and you want to get to. And I think the trust factor with Gerard was unbelievable. Then Ken came in, and Ken was really good at pushing buttons and really good at getting you going. And I think in a good way, though. I think Ken was like a lot of guys saying he's a negative guy and like pushing hard, but he wanted you to be better. And if you understood his message, and I think he really wanted you to be a better person, better player, and push people to be better for yourself too. But I mean, to get a start, I mean, NHL is a great place to play, but you always want to play more. You always want to be a big part of it. And
Yeah.
Columbus was really where I took off. I had some good stats there, and Doug treated me unbelievable there. He gave us extensions, really gave me really showed a lot of faith in me by giving me stuff like that. And I owe a lot to Doug too for giving me a chance. And um, it was great. Gerard and Ken and Doug, you owe a lot to. Chris McFarland was a big thing there too. Gary Agnew was there when I came, and it really helped me out along there too. So a lot of guys along the way that you forget about. Then you bring back old memories. You look up stats, you look up where they've been, and you look, holy smokes, that guy was awesome to me. And so many people you got to thank. And Columbus was a really good starting ground for me.
Yeah, and you mentioned a lot of names there, and I kind of wanted to ask if there were, are there friends that you still have from your time here in Columbus? It's probably hard to name everybody. Certainly a lot of characters that you played with as well. But are there some of those guys that there's relationships you made in Columbus that you still have a pretty good connection with?
Yeah, like I said, Manny, I talked to a bit. I got in touch with Litelski the other day. Was pretty cool. I text with Nasher once in a while, so I text with him back and forth and just old memories. But just anybody, security staff. I mean, you still go there. When I went there with the Washington Capitals and I went there with New York Islanders, people still remember you. You're giving security people hugs, and that's what it's all about. Those relationships you never you always build in the building, and people you see every day on a daily basis, and you can't put a price on those stuff. And I think it's just a great thing hockey has. And I think if you get the time to know these people and get to it's just awesome. And the same people are there. It's amazing. You see the same people. It's great to come back. And but yeah, that's I got a good fortune of meeting a lot of people through the Children's Hospital there too with Brad Salmons. I think Ryan was a good buddy of mine, and he passed away when we were there, but we kind of gave him a day contract with the Blue Jackets. I'll always remember that. Me and Brad still keep in touch, and I met some good friends. The Sharvers still keep in touch with their son Ethan. He went through some stuff, and I was there through the beginning of it, and he walked out of it still cancer free. So you get opposite ends of the spectrum where someone that is pretty important in your life pass away and that kind of stuff, and then you get to the other spectrum where someone goes through it. Just kind of the whole those are the things in hockey where you can't put a price on, and you still keep in touch with these people just because you met so much, not necessarily donating money, and just time. We were in their people's lives. And I remember I was hurt I went to watch playoffs games with Ryan when he was back home in his there. So me and Ryan watched the playoff games together, which was pretty cool. I think it was a thing that we had a really strong bond, and you'll never forget. You still keep in touch with those people, hopefully until you can't keep in touch with people anymore, for sure.
Yeah, no, certainly a lot of great memories. And you kind of hit on something there I also wanted to ask about is you ended up being traded to Washington, which at the time was not a division rival, but would become one. So you did come back to Columbus quite a bit there. Was it weird or was it interesting to come back and play against that team after you had played, spent so many years in Columbus and certainly had a lot of relationships there, as you were just talking about?
Yeah, it's certainly different going in the dressing room. I think you always see them take a quick left and try to go into Columbus room for sure. Julie was there, so you try to go see Julie. Todd was sitting in the hallway and see guys like that. So it's a different feeling every time you get traded and you enter the other team's building where you spent Columbus has spent 5 years, which is a pretty significant time. Which you build a lot of relationships, you build a lot of friendships, and the trainers, Jamie and Timmy and Ski back there. Those still some of my good buddies. You hang with those trainers so much. You spend a lot of time with them, and those guys are the unwritten heroes behind everything, because they treat you like princesses. They do your laundry, they do your skate sharp, and everything's ready for you. And they're just the best. And those guys were awesome to me, and you still keep in touch with those guys. And so you see those guys and brings back old memories. And but yeah, it's different for sure. But I think the first the warm up's a little nerve wracking. The first shift's a little nerve wracking, but then you kind of end up getting into it. And see a lot of people in the stands, which is cool. Where you met, and a lot of people that you have to thank, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you certainly named a lot of great people there. And I wanted to ask a little bit on the ice. I did a little digging and looked back and saw that you had scored on your second shift in a Columbus jersey, which I don't know if that's a cool memory or not, but I wanted to ask kind of just about some on-ice memories. Were there things that kind of stand out about your time here? You're also on the first playoff team. What kind of sticks out maybe as you think back and look at your time here in Columbus as far as on-ice memories?
Well, that first goal, I think it was against the San Jose Sharks. I think it was. I think I remember that like it was yesterday. I think I got to go down the wing and come and drive the puck wide and cut in and scoring. So I think it was. You always want to make an impact when you come to a team, and you always feel like you need to get an impact right away and try to help out the team and try to feel like you're worth a trade or worth getting. And that really helped me settle my nerves, kind of getting going for sure. Because he played the first game, it was a whirlwind. The second game he scored, and it was at home, so it was pretty cool. And it was in Columbus, so it was just it was an awesome feeling. I think that's you never forget that. But you just about, I mean, no specific like that playoff series was awesome. We kind of got humbled a bit by the Detroit Red Wings when we went there, but just getting into it, I mean. The atmosphere in that building was unbelievable, and I think still to this day, and you watch the games on TV, it gives you chills because of how cool everyone's standing up. I mean, you pay to sit down in your seat, but I don't think anyone sits down in their seat in Columbus when they win a playoff game anymore. So you hope they win a Stanley Cup because that city deserves one, and I think it's a great place to play hockey. And the owners, John McConnell was great to me. The old guy when old John or McConnell died, he was just the best man. He was just the coolest guy and great guy to meet. He was a big fan of mine, and he shared many laughs with him. And then the son took over, and he treated us just as good and had us out to the Double Eagle Club there many times, and just kind of treated us like it was family. And I'm right from ownership on down, from the front office, you get to know all these people. And Wendy that helped me out in the PR with the people, when we were doing a lot of stuff with the kids stuff. Wendy helped me out a lot. And it was just so many people are coming back to remember when you think about this stuff. So it's kind of cool. I think on ice, you remember just the people like Nasher, Malhotra, Carter, Modine, those David Morney, guys you play with. I think that's the most memories. You remember little tidbits of the games and obviously those playoff series and just the atmosphere in the Blue Jackets building and the cannon going off when you score, that kind of stuff. But I think just the people you meet. Like on and off the ice. I know you asked a question about on the ice, but just the people you meet on the ice, those guys. I mean, Jody Shelley, the guys are still with the club, and guys you meet that are big parts of your life, and they teach you pretty valuable lessons along the way. And it's pretty cool to think about all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm a little jealous. I haven't gotten to play double eagle, so I'm a little jealous of you for bringing that up. But
I know I don't think I would get to play with it either if I wasn't on the team. So I think we got kind of lucky. And when we went out there, it was like we had the whole course to ourselves. It was just an immaculate place, and it was pretty lucky to be. Those are one of the perks of being an NHL player. You get to play those places, and I mean, I got to play a lot of golf courses over the years just because I was in NHL, and I think it's pretty that people are willing to help you out. And I mean, it's just talk about a spectacular place, and just the grounds and the way they manicure the place. And I think a lot of people, when I mention that, it's a worldwide, people know about it worldwide, and people say, you play that course? Like, yeah, well,
yeah,
little perks of the trade, perks of the job. I think, yeah.
That is certainly true. And we call this series Where Are They Now? So I kind of wanted to ask, you did have a 17-year NHL career, but I know you're originally from the Edmonton area, but where do you call home these days?
Yeah, we're in Edmonton. My family, my wife's family's from here, and my family's from here, so we kind of keep close and stay home. And got a little escape place. We got a place in Canmore, Alberta. We go to once in a while, a little condo there, so we go there much as we can. Go skiing, cross country skiing, that kind of stuff, and hiking and all that kind of outdoors stuff. So up here you gotta embrace the winter. So we're playing outdoor hockey a lot, and we're kind of in the middle of a lockdown right now up here. So we're trying to get out. No one's playing hockey. No one's going to work. So it's a weird time for us up here. But we're getting outside as much as possible, and we're lucky enough to have outdoor rinks, and hockey's a big thing up here. So we kind of went back here. Both my son and daughter both playing hockey. So Edmonton's a great place to raise your family. Good family oriented city. So it's a great place to call home.
Absolutely beautiful country up there. One of these days we'll be able to come back once this is all over, certainly, and maybe look forward to seeing you there. But Jason Chimera, thanks for joining us here on Where Are They Now, presented by Huntington Bank. Great to catch up, and hopefully we'll see you around one of these days.
Yes, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you.